Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Government defends the decision on new army chief, says selection of Lieutenant General P. Rawat is based purely on merit. Congress asks the centre to spell out compelling reasons for appointments superseding seniors. Curfew imposed in Manipur's capital Imphal following violent protests against months-long economic blockade. Mobile internet services are snapped to prevent spreading of rumours. Election Commission recommends amending laws to exempt only those political parties that win seats in polls from paying taxes. Also wants ban on anonymous contributions above 2,000 rupees. At least 52 soldiers killed and over 80 wounded in suicide attack near a military base in southern Yemeni port city of Aden. IS claims responsibility for the attack. And India scripts history. The men's junior hockey team wins the World Cup after 15 years, defeats Belgium 2-1 in the finals. Our top focus, the BJP came out in defense of the centre's decision on appointment of the new chief of army after the opposition lashed at the centre for overlooking two senior-most army officers. Lieutenant General Bipin Rawat will take reins from General Dalbir Singh, whose tenure is ending on the 31st of December.
The appointment of new Chief of Army by the government is brewing into a political storm. Opposition parties on Sunday asked the centre to spell out compelling reasons for appointment of Lieutenant General Bipin Rawat as the new army chief, superseding two senior commanders.
Why the principle of seniority, which has held the field now for almost 2 decades, not respected by your government? Is it that these officers who've been superseded were unqualified in any manner?
This is very unfortunate. The appointments in army have become controversial. The appointments in judiciary are already controversial.
The BJP, however, said Lieutenant General Rawat's elevation has been taken keeping in mind the current security scenario and was based purely on merit, and condemned the Congress for politicizing the issue.
Government of the day is entitled to take a view. Various issues are there before the government. It is not meant to be in looking at or playing politics with the armed forces.
और जो लोग थे क्योंकि टॉप जो 5 थे उन 5 में से जो सिलेक्शन करना था और सभी कॉम्पिटेंट लोग हैं, लेकिन वर्तमान में जो परिस्थितियां हैं उनके अनुसार से सरकार ने जो फैसला लिया है, इस तरह के फैसलों पर विपक्ष को कोई टीका टिप्पणी नहीं करनी चाहिए.
Government announced on Saturday that Lieutenant General Bipin Rawat will succeed General Dalbir Singh Sohag to the post of Chief of Army Staff. General Rawat will supersede two senior-most officers, Lieutenant General Praveen Bakshi, currently commanding the Eastern Army in Kolkata, who is next in line to be the Army Chief, and Lieutenant General P.M. Hariz, commander of the Southern Army in Pune. This is only the second time when the senior-most army officer has been ignored for a promotion. The only other time the senior-most officer was not appointed army chief was in 1983, when Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha was overlooked for the post in favour of General A.S. Vaidya. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In other news, the Director General of State Police in Jammu and Kashmir chaired a high-level security meeting on Sunday, a day after the militant attack in Pampore. K. Rajendra Kumar, DGP of Jammu and Kashmir Police, emphasized on better cooperation and coordination within the security establishment while emphasizing upon the army to strengthen the corridor protection. He directed officers present at the meeting to devise a plan for safe and secure movement of the people and security forces along the national highway. He also emphasized on the CRPF to fine-tune the road opening parties along the national highway. Earlier, the IGP Kashmir Zone briefed about the security situation of South Kashmir and also highlighted recent operations conducted against the militants. Later, another high-level meeting was held between Rajendra Kumar and GOC of 15 Corps, Lieutenant General J.S. Sandhu, which was attended by top officers of the army, police and security agencies. 3 soldiers, remember, were killed in the Pampore attack. Meanwhile, in the northeast, curfew has been imposed in Imphal following incidents of violence. Protests against the economic blockade by the United Naga Council since the 1st of November turned violent, forcing authorities to clamp restrictions. Mobile services have also been suspended to avert rumours spreading further across Manipur.
Curfew in Manipur's capital Imphal following violence. Indefinite curfew in Imphal East district till further orders. Similar restrictions imposed in Imphal West, however, only till dawn today. Curfew first coming into force on Sunday afternoon after locals resorted to violence and vandalized vehicles on the Imphal-Ukhrul road. They were protesting against the ongoing economic blockade by the United Naga Council or the UNC on the national highways since November 1.
If UNC stop their blockade, I think this counter blockade from Imphal Valley will lift their agitations. Government, I think our concerned MLA, Deputy Speaker is here. They are responsible. I think they are trying to solve the problems.
The prohibitory order, however, will be relaxed for essential services and accredited media persons. In neighbouring Imphal West, curfew was imposed as a precautionary measure to ensure that there is no untoward incident. Mobile internet services have also been snapped till December 25 to prevent spread of rumours.
We have been strained here for 2 nights, and this situation, looking after and coming back after so long, feels sad because we really felt we are coming back for good. But over here, it seems like the situation is never better than ever before, and it is getting worse day by day.
The UNC imposed an indefinite economic blockade on the 2 national highways that serve as a lifeline for the state since November 1, after the state government's announcement to form 7 new districts. Tension also escalated after militants continued violent attacks on Manipur police and other state forces in the last few days. 3 policemen have been killed and 14 injured last week. There were also bomb blasts in Imphal West district by Manipur Naga People's Front. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, in an attempt to accelerate solutions to interstate river water disputes, the centre has decided to set up a single permanent tribunal to hear all such cases. The government has also proposed to float judicial benches by amending the Interstate Water Disputes Act of 1956 to look into disputes when required, which will cease to exist once the disputes are resolved. Decision to approve an amendment in the Act was taken at the Union Cabinet's meeting held earlier this week and is likely to be introduced in the next session of Parliament. The Election Commission has recommended that the government amends laws to allow exemption from tax only to the parties that win seats in elections. The poll body has also recommended to ban anonymous contributions of 2,000 rupees and above made to political parties. Political parties are exempted from under Section 13A of the Income Tax Act for income from house property, way of voluntary contributions, capital gains and other sources. Only income under the head salaries and income from business or professions are chargeable to tax in the hands of political parties in India. The Commission said, and I quote, "There could be cases where political parties could be formed merely for availing of provisions of income tax exemption if the facility that are at the expense of the public exchequer is provided to all political parties," unquote. Now, while there is no statutory prohibition on receipt of anonymous donations, there is an indirect partial ban on anonymous donations through the requirement of declaration of donations under the Representation of the People's Act. The government has said that political parties depositing all 500,000 rupee notes in their accounts will be exempt from income tax provided the donations taken are below 20,000 rupees per individual and properly documented. In yet another recommendation to check black money, the EC has asked the Law Ministry to ensure that political parties are made to register details of donors for coupons of all amounts on the basis of a Supreme Court order of 1996. RBI Chief Urjit Patel will brief the Parliamentary Committee on Finance about the demonetization process and its impact on the 22nd of December. The briefing will begin at 11 a.m. at the Parliament Annex building on Thursday. Since the banning of all 500 and 1,000 rupee notes on the 8th of November, the government has taken a host of measures like service tax stops and incentives for making digital payments to ease out problems arising out of less currency being available in the market. The move has led to wiping out of almost 86% of the currency which was present in cash before the 8th of November in the form of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Now, the RBI and the government have been assuring common people regularly that there is enough cash that has been pumped back into the system. The RBI last week said that 12.44 lakh crore rupees in demonetized notes have been collected at banks, and banks have also issued 4.61 lakh crore rupees to the public since the move through ATMs and bank counters. And here's a look at what's likely to make news in the day ahead. The NIA will file a charge sheet in the Pathankot terror attack case in the NIA court in Mohali. The charge sheet is likely to highlight the role of Jaish terror group in spreading mayhem in India, naming Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar along with his brother Rauf Azhar as the main accused. The charge sheet will also name two key terrorist handlers, Kashif Jan and Shahid Latif. The charge sheet will also include evidence of linking the footprints of one of the terrorists obtained in fact from Bamiyal. A Hyderabad court will announce the quantum of sentence in the 2013 Dilsukh Nagar blast case today. NIA would press for death sentence of 5 members of the Indian Mujahideen. On the 13th of December, the court had convicted Bhatkal and others under various sections of the IPC, Arms Act and UAPA. On 21st of February 2013, 2 simultaneous bomb explosions took place at Dilsukh Nagar market in Hyderabad, killing at least 18 and injuring 131 people. Bombay High Court will hear Nusli Wadia's plea on defamation case against Tata Sons today. The suit has been filed in the wake of the Tata Group's special notice seeking the removal of Wadia as an independent director of 3 group entities: Tata Steel, Tata Motors and Tata Chemicals. Retirement Fund Body EPFO is likely to take a decision on the rate of interest on PF deposits for 2016-17's fiscal in its trustees' meet in Bengaluru today. According to sources, interest rate could be at least 8.8%, which was fixed for the last fiscal. Besides, the EPFO will also consider a proposal to reduce the administrative charges to 0.65% of the total wages on which contributions are payable from 0.85% at present. A quick break here. International news next.
Hello and welcome to Sabha TV. You're watching Constitutionally Yours.
There are certain issues which cannot be made justiciable.
This time we implement the Uniform Civil Code as desired and as enshrined in the Constitution.
This society is going to have a common civil code.
So don't you think bringing gradual changes into personal laws would be more efficient?
Law evolves as the society changes.
Join us as we try to understand contemporary issues related to the Constitution. Watch Constitutionally Yours on Rajya Sabha television. Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. Nepal will table the Constitution Amendment Bill aimed at meeting the demands of agitating Madhesis and other ethnic groups in its parliament today. The Nepal Prime Minister, while announcing this, urged opposition parties not to obstruct the House. He also made it clear that the government wanted to forge an agreement with the main opposition regarding the issues of the bill. This bill aims at carving out a new province to meet the demands of agitating Madhesis and other ethnic groups. The registration of the bill has angered Nepal's main opposition party, the CPN-UML, which has termed the bill anti-national and obstructed parliament in the past. The amendment bill aims to accommodate the demands of the agitating Madhesi and ethnic groups that include citizenship and boundary demarcation issues, among others. Now to Yemen, where a suicide bomber has killed at least 52 soldiers and wounded over 84 in the southern Yemeni port city of Aden on Sunday. The attacker targeted a crowd of servicemen who had gathered to collect their salaries near a military base. The bomber, who was dressed in police uniform, pretended to be disabled and infiltrated the crowd before detonating himself. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack. It comes 8 days after a similar bombing at Al-Salaban, claimed by IS, killed 48 soldiers. Four gunmen who killed at least 10 people in the Jordanian city of Karak have been shot dead by Jordanian security forces. The gunmen had fled to a historic castle in the heart of the southern city of Karak after a shooting spree that left 10 people dead, including a tourist from Canada and at least 4 police officers. Several tourists who were taken hostage were freed after a 5-hour standoff between Jordanian special forces and the gunmen, all 4 of them who were killed at the spot. Suicide belts and weapons have been seized at the hideout used by the terrorists, but it is not clear if the men belong to any militant group. The incident marks the first major assault on civilian sites in recent years as Jordan struggles with radicalization at home.
القوة الأمنية المشتركة التي تعاملت منذ ظهر اليوم مع مجموعة إرهابية خارجة على القانون تحصنت داخل قلعة الكرك بعد إطلاق النار على عدد من رجال الأمن العام والمرة في محافظة الكرك. أنهت عملياتها بعد أن تمكنت من القضاء على 4 إرهابيين.
The Pentagon has said that China has agreed to return the U.S. underwater drone that it seized in international waters last week. The unmanned underwater vehicle was taken on Thursday. The Pentagon went public with its complaint after the action and said on Saturday, in fact, it had secured a deal to get the drone back. Details were not immediately available on when or how the drone may be returned. Meanwhile, Beijing has said that Washington had been hyping up the incident. But President-elect Donald Trump weighed in on the incident, calling China's action unprecedented, and also tweeted that we should tell China that we don't want the drone they stole back. Let them keep it, quote unquote.
为防止该装置对过往船舶的航行安全和人员安全产生危害，中方救生船采取专业和负责任的态度，对该装置进行了识别查证。经核查，该装置为美方无人潜航器，中方决定通过适当方式移交美方。
Now to Syria, where evacuations on Monday resumed from East Aleppo, with buses and ambulances leaving rebel areas of the Syrian city. As many as 500 people were brought to Al-Rashidin, where they were given food rations and winter clothing before being placed at temporary camps. A deal to free East Aleppo's remaining civilians was stalled again on Sunday, though, after 6 buses sent to evacuate people out of government-controlled areas besieged by the rebels were stopped and set ablaze. The UN Security Council is said to have agreed to a compromise to allow UN monitoring of the operation. Russia had earlier rejected a French-drafted plan to send UN officials to East Aleppo, calling it a disaster.
Given our experience with so many Russian vetoes up to this point, you can't have confidence, but I will say that we worked very constructively together with the representative of the Russian Federation on the text, and so I can't speak for how his system works, but we expect to vote unanimously for this text tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Cinemas in Pakistan will resume screening Indian movies from today. Film exhibitors and cinema owners in Pakistan had suspended the screening of Indian films following Indo-Pak tensions due to the Uri terror attack. The Pakistani film industry has reportedly been hit by the 2-month-long ban, with newly built and upgraded cineplexes depending on Indian films for business. They said that they had only suspended the screening of Indian films and had not completely banned them. Some cinema owners are, however, apprehensive of backlash from religious parties and have asked for protection if required. On to sports now. In India on Sunday created history as they claimed the Junior Hockey World Cup title after a gap of 15 long years with a clinical 2-1 victory against Belgium in the final played in Lucknow. Prime Minister Modi congratulated the team for winning the World Cup and said that it augurs well for the future of Indian hockey, adding that the victory will make the sport even more popular among youngsters.
2016, India! Grabbing the flags, toasting the crowd.
Indian men's junior hockey team scripted history on Sunday as they lifted the Junior Hockey World Cup after a gap of 15 years with a clinical 2-1 victory against Belgium in the final. It was also the first time that a host nation won the tournament since its inception. The hosts scored 2 beautifully crafted field goals in the first half of the match.
In the second half of the semi-final,
Gurjant Singh scored the scoreline in the 8th minute of the game. The Indians kept up the pressure and doubled their lead in the 22nd minute, top of the circle, after he was fed by a measured pass from Neelkanta. However, Belgium could only manage a late consolation goal through a penalty corner conversion in the 70th minute. Earlier, India had won the trophy in 2001 in Hobart, in Australia. Congratulatory messages poured in from across the nation following the win. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to Twitter to wish the team. Sports Minister Vijay Goyal also hailed the team for a brilliant performance.
सारा देश इस पे गौरवान्वित है कि हमारी हॉकी जूनियर टीम जो है वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस बनी है। हॉकी के अंदर हम लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं और हमारी स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्ट्री चाहती भी अब यही है कि सभी स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन्स को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फैसिलिटीज़ मिले ताकि वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वर्ल्ड टूर्नामेंट्स के अंदर पदक जीत के आएँ। तो मैं उनको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ।
वाकई में देश का गौरव बढ़ाया और देश के गौरव के साथ साथ वो सम्मान बढ़ाया जो हॉकी को मिलना चाहिए था। खेल के थ्रू, मेडल के थ्रू और जूनियर वर्ल्ड कप के इन खिलाड़ियों ने आज देश को तोहफा दिया है।
Earlier in the day, 6-time champions and title holders Germany had to content themselves with a bronze medal after outclassing Australia 3-0 in the 3rd-4th place playoff match. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now some cricket, where India have resumed their first innings at the overnight score of 391 for 4 on the 4th day of the Chennai cricket test today. Replying to England's first innings score of 477, India dominated the first day and third sessions of day 3 of the final test match on Sunday. Opener Lokesh Rahul struck a stunning century in excellent batting conditions, but was out at just 1 run less to the double ton caught by Butler and bowled by Adil Rashid. India still trail by 86 runs.
skipper is happy, but when you've scored 390.
And finally, we wrap up this bulletin on a sweet note. Scores of people attended the 37th annual cake exhibition in Bangalore, where giant-sized cakes modelled on prominent landmarks were put on display. We're leaving you with these images. Have a good day.